Hello there, and you're most welcome to a number one review show here on KDM TV, where we delve deeper into top stories or issues that matter or that greeted the airwaves during the week or during the weekend. I'm your host, KDM. So, quickly, as Ghana approaches its 2024 general elections, both the NPP and the NDC, they have, unveiled their manifestos, which is seeking or which seems to be revealing a lot of promises or visions for the future of this particular country when they are given the nod to lead this country. So today what we are going to do, or what we are going to basically do on this show, is that we are going to take a comparative or a critical look at the NPP and then the NDC's manifestos, and we will try to bring out the similarities and then differences as far as both manifestos are concerned, guys. So don't go anywhere, come with me as we delve deeper and we try to understand some of the similarities or some of the differences in terms of these two manifestos. Of course, the NDC launched theirs, I think, on Saturday. That is just Saturday, and the NPP also launched theirs somewhere on Monday or Tuesday or so. Yes, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere on Monday or Tuesday also. And when you take I've taken the opportunity to read both manifestos, and I've realized that both manifestos have certain kind of similarities and then differences, as far as I am concerned. So I don't know if you have taken a critical look at it. So what we are going to do right here today on KDM TV is to let you know some of the differences or some of the similarities between these two manifestos. So quickly, let's look at both manifestos. So when you read both manifestos, you realize that both parties emphasize job creation, particularly for the youth. So both of the manifestos actually emphasized on creation of jobs, particularly for the youth. Of course, the NPP says that they are committed to creating 1 million youth jobs in digital skills, construction, digitalization, and then agri-business, while the NDC also says that they are going to focus on creating jobs through industrialization and expanding opportunities for the youth. So one of the differences or similarities between these two manifestos is that both parties or both manifestos focus on creating jobs for the youth. Secondly, as far as education is concerned, both manifestos highlight the expansion of educational opportunities with a focus on improving quality or access to quality education. So both parties are committed to enhancing free access. So when you read the manifesto, you realize that the NPP are saying that, look, when they come, they know there are challenges as far as the free SHS is concerned. So when they come, they are not going to abolish the free SHS, rather they are going to review it, and perhaps if where there are loopholes, they are going to close all these and then find if I will say solutions, or I mean they would make sure that they do it in a way and manner that wouldn't create any issue. And the NDC are also saying same. Yeah, they also said that, look, we are also not going to cancel free SHS. However, there are some inefficiencies or discrepancies that when we are given the nod or when we are given the chance, we would correct. So both parties are basically focusing, or both manifestos are basically focusing on education and job creation. And then thirdly, we are also looking at health care. We look at healthcare as well, what both parties are actually saying. So both parties aim to provide healthcare services and infrastructure. So the NPP plans to complete all Agenda 111 hospitals. Remember Agenda 111 hospitals? This was one of the famous promises, or one of the famous priorities or policies that the Akufo-Addo-led government had wanted to implement, or dreamt of implementing of it for them, for those in the NPP. For them, they think that some of the hospitals have been actualized or have been built while those in the NDC disputes this particular fact. So let's look at what the NDC's manifesto is also saying. The NDC plans to provide universal healthcare coverage and improve the NHIS. So the NDC manifesto is saying that for them to, they also plan of improving the universal healthcare system, and as well as improving the NHI, that's the National Health Insurance scheme. They would want to improve it for the betterment of the Ghanaian citizen, while the the NPP also says that, look, for us, when we already had promised Ghanaians the Agenda 111 hospital, so when we come, we make sure that we will see to the completion of the Agenda 111 hospital project. So I've given you so far three similarities. So job creation, education, as well as healthcare. So let's move on to infrastructure development. So both parties emphasize expanding and maintaining infrastructure, including roads, hospitals, and then schools. So the NDC also prioritizes infrastructure development with specific attention to transportation and then urban development as well. So both parties have unveiled in their manifestos that, look, when they are given the nod, or they are given the opportunity to lead this country, one of the key things that they are going to commit themselves to is to ensure that there is what we call infrastructure development. As how they are going to do it, for that one, we leave it to you, the viewer, or we leave it to you, the citizen, to digress or digest it. Good. So we've looked at 4 similarities. Now I think we should look at more. Good. When we look at support for women and then girls, support for women and then girls as well. So both manifestos include policies aimed at empowering women and girls. So NPP plans to implement affirmative action for women and then girls, while the NDC plans to promote gender equality and women's empowerment in various sectors. Right. So these are the similarities. While the NPP plans to implement what's called affirmative action for women and then girls, the NDC also plans to promote what we call gender equality and women's empowerment in various sectors. Various sectors. So we will look at the economic focus as long as these two manifestos are concerned. So the NPP focuses on building a world-class digital economy, reducing the cost of living through tax reforms, and creating a flat rate tax system, while the NDC also emphasizes on what we call their 24 hours economy industrialization, particularly in manufacturing and agriculture, as the main drivers of economic growth. So when you come to the economy, both manifestos focus on the economy as long as, or as far as this election is concerned. Then move on to taxation. Of course, the NDC, before they could launch their manifesto, they had already, let's say, lambasted the ruling government, that is the NPP government. That look, immediately they get into office, one of the things or one of the taxes that they are going to scrap, or that they are going to how do you call it, that they are going to abolish is the famous obnoxious levy tax. So in their manifesto, they could have left it behind. It was captured very clear, very clear and plain, that look, when they are giving the nod, that's the NDC, they would, as far as the welfare of the Ghanaian citizen is concerned, they would abolish the obnoxious levy tax. They also said that, so the NDC said they will abolish the obnoxious tax, that is the levy. They were going to abolish it. Of course, the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has also retweeted, or has also stated that, look, though he's part of the ruling government, of which they brought this levy tax, or they implemented this levy tax, but look, he isn't the driver, he just the mate. So if he's given the opportunity, or if he's given the car to drive as a driver, he would see to it that this levy tax is also abolished. So when it comes to taxation, both manifestos focus on abolishing, and then how do you call it, reviewing as well. So I think we've talked about taxation, of which we had some similarities or differences. We've also spoken about the economy, and then we've also talked about support for women and girls empowerment, then infrastructure development, healthcare, education, and job creation. So quickly, I want us to look at one. Okay. So yes, let's look at the birthing tax. So tax on birthing. The NPP has said that when they come, they will abolish the birthing tax. You remember the birthing tax, that the 10% birthing, or the 10% tax on birthing. The betters, they've been complaining bitterly that, look, the ruling government has refused to give them a work to do, and they are doing everything possible to create something for themselves, get something as a source of their livelihood. And this government comes in to tell them that, look, whatever they earn, they are going to, after birthing, or after placing their bets, they are going to pay 10% on it. And it came as a surprise and shock to them, of which they kicked vehemently against it. So now I don't know what has changed, but then the flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, is saying that, look, when he comes, he's going to abolish the birthing tax. The NDC also plans to scrap the 10% levy on birth winnings within the first 100 days. So the NDC also said that, look, within the first 100 days, when they come into office, or when they capture power, or when they are given the opportunity to lead this country again, within the first 100 days in office, they would ensure that the tax on birthing is abolished, or is scrapped. Is scrapped as quickly or as possible, or as soon as possible. So guys, when you take your time to juxtapose and compare and contrast these two manifestos, you realize that there are a lot of similarities. So for the sake of time, we can't, do all of them, but one thing that we can do is that I would urge each and every one of you to take your time. I mean, set some time for yourself, and then make sure you go through both manifestos. You try to analyze comparatively, bringing out the similarities and the differences between these two parties. So I believe that you've learned something new. This has been the week or the review show here on KDM TV. I'm so glad that you've been able to join us today. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for joining us today here on KDM TV. I've been your host, KDM. See you same time next week. Bye bye.